Why boys are better than girls. This is something, of course, another headline that will get me in trouble, but let me explain. When we're looking at kids age 12 and under that we're seeing a lot, I know a lot of girls that are mentally and physically quite ahead of the boys. Mentally meaning they're more focused in training sessions, they're adopting new skills quicker than boys at the same level, and are also just much higher on their soccer IQ than comparable boys. Though when we have the boys play against the girls, often boys ending up winning the games against girls that on a technical skill perspective as well as on a soccer IQ perspective, the girls would be outperforming the boys. So for a long time, Coach Sebastian and I were thinking, why are boys better than girls? Why do they perform better in the games? And our main take on it and what we've seen so far is that boys are much more selfish. When we look at girls playing, even on a high level, we see very few times a situation where they're actually trying to go in a 1v1 situation, trying to take on the opponent and then finding the finish themselves. It is often receiving the ball, looking for a pass opportunity and playing it again. Or even when going in a 1v1, starting the 1v1, finishing with an LOV turn and then reorganizing into a pass again. There's no mistakes the girls are doing. They're playing very solid and safe. The problem is though, as we learned from a really famous basketball player, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And girls do not shoot enough. Girls often don't go enough in 1v1 situations, and girls are not selfish enough. It is very much underestimated how valuable it is to just try to finish into the goal. Because even when the shot is not done well, if the grass is not perfect or the goalie is not paying attention or the wind is picking up or anything else, 1 out of 5 or 6 shots might go into the goal unexpectedly. It just needs one little deflection or a goalkeeper mistakes for the ball to go in. But if you don't shoot, this is physically impossible to happen. The ball cannot go into the goal. And boys have it a little bit too much on the other side. You know, number one complaint people have about boys teams, or boys especially at young age, oh, they're just dribbling by themselves. They don't share, they don't pass, which is true. And often it's a bad choice. But it does often end up in them being able to have a situation where somehow they got through the other players, having space to finish and getting a shot off. Even if it's not perfect, it scores more goals. And this is the main behavior difference we see between young boys on a high level and young girls on a high level that makes boys specifically perform higher. It is more selfishness, more finishes, and less thinking about what's right to do for another team. And with that, I do think there's also a societal problem we have when looking at youth soccer often of idolizing passing too much. Many times we look at beautiful soccer and we say, this was great. We conducted 30 passes. We played this beautiful game. The others, they don't really know how to play. They just kick it forward and try to shoot or just take it on every time by themselves. It is still a fact that these teams are often in results-wise performing higher. I'm not saying we should not promote passing or not be proud of teams that understand how to play together, but I do want to remind you on it that the game is won by the team that scores more goals, not by the team that connects more passes. I want you to know we in no way practice any selfishness or promote any selfishness of players at Fußball whatsoever, or put kids on a pedestal that are those ways. I actually really much admire players that have a high soccer IQ and are able to play out situations and think it's going to be very beneficial for them on a big field. But I want you to know that it is an observation that we have made quite often in practice. And if I look at players that do make the difference in games, it is often the players that don't think much about it and just take it and try to make the difference themselves.